Remember to mute your YouTube, guys.
Okay.
Make sure you have your screen split.
Carla, you have to do it again, right?
Huh?
You have to do yours again, I think. Are you
Yep, I see it now. I'm on there.
okay? All right, we got it.
All right, guys, I'm gone.
You want to write, put that chat in the box that you did before, Kendra?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
you're gonna give it about a minute or two, I'd say, for persons to start coming on. All right.
Okay. You see it, Carla?
Yeah, I see the question. Hi, everyone. Looks like we have about people are joining us, continuously joining us. For this will be an open dialogue where we'll be answering your questions that you put in the chat. So good afternoon, Kevin. So any questions that you have for I or Dr. Flores-Carter, if you can go ahead and type them in the chat and then we'll just answer your questions. We're so excited to engage with you all today.
Yes, we are. Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for joining.
Dr. Flores-Carter, how about we just start off by like doing an overview what the content was about? Maybe that will get questions flowing and them thinking about things that they want to ask us. You want to do yours first?
Yeah, that's fine. So guys, I know that there were some questions regarding the lesson plan. I went in to do a live for that, as well as try to clarify via email for some people. So if you guys still have questions about that, please let me know. I know that I received a question about the Google code. So the classroom code is the code that you would send to your students. So whenever you create a Google Classroom, you have a code for the class. And it's usually, if you go on your on your Google web page, you'll see like a code right below where it says Google Classroom. And so you would copy that code and you would send it to me. So that I'm able to, your monitors are able to go and check to make sure that you have actually created your classroom. So Model 3 was really just the digital learning portion that's related to professional development for application skills. So you guys are applying what you've learned in modules 1 and 2. Now you're applying it in Model 3. So you're doing the actual application of creating a classroom, which I think you did in Module 2, but you're actually now adding content to that classroom that you created, which is why I asked for you to put a lesson on there and then assigned an assignment or a quiz or something like that. One question that came into me was about the preschool situation. If you're a preschool teacher, that you don't have quizzes, but I was told that you can always create an assessment for your students, and you can do that in a Google form. So you can still do some sort of assessment for whatever lessons that you taught your preschoolers. So I think that's pretty much my piece. Carla, you want to go in on your netiquettes?
Well, so Adrian is saying, can you share your screen on Zoom to show the teachers what you're saying? Is that possible, or to give them an example?
Let me share my screen on Zoom. Okay, I'll do that.
And then Olita says, one of my concerns about distance learning is safeguarding my students' safety on the internet. I know that having them on the net, they are more exposed.
You're absolutely right. And I think that I did try to put some information about safety, password, making sure that parents are aware of what lessons the students are supposed to be working on. Really having security on everything is important. I think that that's one of the ways that even myself, really try to safeguard my content. And unfortunately for younger students, the parents are going to have to be very involved in monitoring them and really guiding them through their lesson planning, because things can pop up on the internet that's not appropriate for children. So for the younger kids, I think it's important for teachers to make sure that they're talking and consulting with the parents and really educating the parents about internet safety and the importance of making sure that they're protecting the kids. Even parental control too for your computers, things like that is important. How do you set the parental guides on your laptop, on your iPad, on your digital devices? They are available. And there's definitely a lot of devices that have that option for parents to really set security measures for students. So let me go in here, and I know you guys are asking about the Google Classroom. So let me go into my Google Classroom really quickly. I'll pull it up. Okay, so here is the Google Classrooms that I have. So if you have more than one Google Classroom, this is what it'll look like when you pop on, right? And so let me go down and I'll find one of our classrooms. Let me do the digital learning one. Is it this one right here? Yeah, let's do this one. As you can see, when you go into your classrooms, what it's going to look like is that you will have a specific topic, and underneath each topic is where you will create the assignments and the quizzes, or whatever assignment you have. It could be your lesson planning. You create your lesson plan, which, as you can see, for Carla, her lesson plan was an actual some actual videos that you guys were to review. That was her lesson that she planned for you guys. So you review the videos, and she had the assignment, which was asking a question to you, and then you would respond to that question, right? And so it's simple as that. It's just creating a lesson plan and using a digital format to do that. Is it going to be a PowerPoint presentation? Is it going to be a video lecture? Is it going to be just a word outlined lesson plan where you're having them read something? It's something that you're going to create, and then you're going to actually assign an assignment related to that. And then you can also assign the quiz that's related to that same lesson plan. So it's really as simple as that. And what you want to do is you want to make sure that your classroom is organized. And a way that you can organize that is really having a topic and having the lessons related to that topic below, lessons and assignments, just really and truly below whatever topics that is related to, because it keeps it organized and it keeps it clean. If you just put in a lot of different things in there, then your students can get really, really confused. As you can see, then for this one, you have classroom structure and content, and then below that, you had a classroom quiz that you had to take. So it's definitely the way that you could set it up, and it's really, really and truly simple as that. It doesn't have to be significantly complicated for you. So I'm going to stop the share here and look at the questions that you guys might have, but that's pretty much how what I was expecting of you is to create the topic, your lesson topic, and then an assignment and your lesson that was related to that particular topic. So let's get back to here where we were. Okay. All right. Did you see any other questions in there, Carla?
No, everyone, good afternoon, everyone. I know
everyone said being so nice. Good afternoon. Hey guys, do you ask your questions, okay? I hope that I answered your question regarding the safe guarding of students. You definitely want to make sure that you go over the safety rules. And if I were you, I would create something that you can definitely send to the parents so that they can have an idea on how they can make sure their students are safe online as well.
And then for my portion, so as of right now, for those of you who are joining, I just want to bring you up to speed where we're at. So Dr. Flores-Carter was just explaining her portion, just to open up dialogue and questions, and I'll go ahead and explain my portion. We are keeping an eye on the chat. So as you have questions, please write them in the chat and then we'll answer them. So Netiquette 101, many of you have watched the video so far, and it's really about the point of it all is that not only do we, as a certain climate and environment that exists within the digital space for us as the teachers, but also for the students. So teaching digital citizenship in a sense, right? So what are the norms and expectations? What are some things that you can do to get in front of any problematic behavior that could exhibit through this virtual setting? And you yourself, how you can role model and set expectations, realistic expectations for the students and for yourself as you manage remote learning. And so Netiquette 101 goes over those things. It really describes what is netiquette. It's this new term that has really emerged in the last couple years as distance learning has grown more and more through education, and just gives you some tips for success on what you should be doing in each one of your sessions, and how you can close the digital divide and the misconceptions that exist through online learning. And so I hope as you have questions, please put them up. And there's also an activity sheet that you should be engaging in, a netiquette activity. Just gets you thinking about what would you do if a student, cussed while you were in class online, or, if there was some type of cyberbullying or something inappropriate or some awkward moment that took place. And so the netiquette activity worksheet is just meant for you to think that through. And that's about all.
Okay, I think someone asked about a class code. Do you see when you tap, when you go into your classroom and you click it, your classroom code is right below your class. So you see digital learning, education, digital platform release 2, and then you see class code. This right here is your class code. It's right below the name of your class. So I know that you guys, someone had a question about that. So I hope that helped. All right, so this is the class code that you would send to me so that I'm able to then go into Google Classes. So I would go into Google and then I would add, I would join the class and then I would enter the class code here. And then I would click join and it will take me to your classroom, right? So it's as simple as that. Okay.
Someone asked a question about when will they expect to get an update on how they're doing for the assignments they've submitted. So the moderators we're meeting tomorrow, and the goal is to have all input to you all throughout the month of June. And so you should see, and please correct me if I'm wrong, Dr. Flores-Carter, you should see starting this week, comments on various modules, and the goal is to have it all done by the end of the month.
Yes, there are, we have monitors for each of the classrooms. And please keep in mind, we have about 3,000 teachers that are in both of these. So it's gonna take a lot of time to go through each of your names and to make sure that all of the assignments that was required is completed. So we have monitors that are clicking on each of your names. They're going through all of the assignments and they're going to check off each of the assignments that you have completed. Okay, so if there was an assignment that you did not complete, you will receive an email letting you know that you missed something and that you needed to provide that information. Okay, so let me look at some other questions. Can kindly get general feedback on what have been submitted. We would love to give feedback, but like I said, I have been emailing some folks where I get questions. Your feedback will come once we are going through each of the lesson and your names. If there's a need for feedback, you will get it, okay? So please bear with us. We're definitely going to get back to you if we have any concerns. So if you have done all of the assignments, you probably won't receive a message. You'll probably just get something that says, thank you for completing it. and you're going to receive your hours. But if there's something missing, you'll be given a time to, I believe, make that up. And then once you make it up, then you'll get your hours. Okay, I think that's
There's some other questions. Ms. Vargas says, I'm confused. So the lesson plan should be in a slide form.
Your lesson plan can be a brief overview of what you're planning to do. For example, if you are planning a lecture on subtraction, right? So that would be what you're going to plan around. You're going to plan a subtraction lecture for your student, and that can be in PowerPoint form. It could be in a video lecture. You're going to plan it. It could be on Loom. I know you guys learned how to use Loom, where you're demonstrating for your students how to do the subtraction lesson that you're wanting to teach them. And once you do that lesson, then you will assign work for them, like a worksheet for them to complete as an activity. And then you can also create a quiz to test the knowledge around that. So that's pretty much what it is. You're just creating a brief overview of what the lesson is going to be. It's like a snapshot of your lesson, and then you go into your Google Classroom and you create the content.
So the next question is by Ms. Sosa Cano. I did class rules, a week's lesson plans with classwork for each subject every day. Do I need to redo each one on its own separately?
No, I think the main goal is we just want to see that you get the information and that you know how to use your Google Classroom. That is really the main goal. We're really wanting you to learn how to transition to your Google Classroom. And so the main thing is we wanting you to know, okay, this is how I upload my information to my classroom. This is how I put an assignment in my Google Classroom. This is how I put a quiz in my Google Classroom, right? That's really and truly what we want you guys to get, the basic understanding of how to navigate and use your Google Classroom. Okay, what else do we have here? Do we put all the lesson plan in the same classroom? Well, it depends. If all of the lesson is related to that one topic, then yes, but if you have different classrooms for each of one classroom, right? One classroom that demonstrate, you know, what I just said, having a lesson, a lecture, having an assignment and a quiz or some form of assessment, right? So just pick one class. I know some of you have like 6 different classes. Eventually, I'm not sure how you're going to work that. If they're going to direct you to create a separate Google Classroom for each of your classes that you have, or if you're going to just be required to just have that one class and just put all of your information in there. I know for me, I personally created, I know for me, like my kids are going through Google Classroom, their teachers created separate classrooms for each subject that they took. And it was easier for me to navigate because I know, okay, this is social studies, so I go into their social studies class. This is religion, so I go into the religion class. And that's just how they did it. But I know there's another teacher that did it where she just broke up each topic and she just assigned each of the assignments, like, you know, like religion, she'll have all of the religion assignment, then below religion is math, and then she'll have all of the math. Below that, she would have English and so forth. So it just all depends on what you feel comfortable with and what your district requires or what your, you know, your principal wants you to do as far as the classrooms.
Ms. Kim says, I would like to know how to upload assessments as a website.
Oh, a website? Not sure how to do a website. I think that was something that you guys, I don't know if they taught you how to upload to websites. I'm not sure if they did that with you guys. But that would be a question for Mr. Underwood, because he's the guy that taught how to navigate all the different websites that you can use.
Ms. Deborah asked, when we were asked to upload our video containing rules and etiquettes, were we to do it how Dr. Carla did hers, showing our faces as we explain?
Well, what do you think, Carla?
What the requirements say on the
I don't think there's any particular requirement. You can use your voice, giving them, I mean, like the digital, you can use any digital form that you want. It could be a speak over PowerPoint option. It could be where you're just probably maybe giving them directions. And I know that there's videos where you don't even have to show your face. You're just going through slides on a video. So there's different ways that you can do it if you don't want to show your face.
Yeah.
But I know your students probably miss your face, so they probably want to see it. So it'd probably be nice. But if you don't want to, that's your choice.
Yeah, and I have to say, and I know Miss Aline also had that question. I would have to say that is one of the big things we're talking about, is how do we keep our students engaged during this time, right? Especially this age group, they need that social connection and they are missing you. And so finding any opportunity to be able to engage with them. So even if it's them seeing your face on the video, that is something that helps them stay connected to the schooling experience. So if you have the capability to do it, then try to do it. But if not, then the other methods that Kendra mentioned would work also.
Yeah. Luis Vasquez, do we need to provide you with a link to one of my actual classroom? You could just provide me with the classroom code, and then I can just enter the code and go straight to your classroom.
So we have a question, do we need to add quizzes for the lesson we planned or just the worksheets?
It depends on what you want to do. If you want to learn how to do a quiz, which I think that you should definitely practice on how to create a quiz in Google Docs or Google Forms, actually. You definitely want to be able to do that for sure. Even just go through creating one. I think it's important. So I would say, yeah, go ahead and create a quiz so you could practice using Google Form. So you could put a worksheet as an assignment, but then you still need to do the quiz. So you could practice using Google Form, yes.
Mr. Andrews says, are school leaders required to take these trainings so that they can be aware and lend support to teachers?
I think that we actually have a lot of school principals in here, and I've heard some very good responses from Jeannie that they are enjoying the course, and a lot of them are going to plan to implement some of the things that they're learning. So some of them, I'm not sure anyone was really required to take the course. I think that you guys decided you wanted to take the course for your CPD, but I'm not sure if eventually they'll make it a requirement, but it is completely voluntary if you want to enroll in it. At some point, I'm sure the ministry is going to decide whether or not they want to make it a requirement.
So I just want to catch up. We have 105 people watching, which is awesome. This just shows the need that you all had to connect with us. We feel really blessed and fortunate to be able to engage with you through technology. If anyone asked any questions in the beginning that we have not answered, just please ask it again so it shows up at the bottom. We don't want to miss your question, so just ask it again. So let's see. Can we engage my students in an escape room is one of the questions.
I think it depends. Is it an educational escape room? Is it something that you can create yourself that would be educational, where they open one box, or if you're trying to say, teach them multiplication and, 12 times 6, and then they click and they go into a room and they figure it out. I don't know how escape room will work online, but if you can find one, that's feasible and that's educational for your students, that is definitely engaging. So yeah, if it's something that's educational and it's matches your class lesson, go for it.
Yeah, you want to find every opportunity, and you all are experts in these age groups, right? And you understand that the learning process requires them to be actively engaged. So yeah, you want to find these creative and innovative ways to stay connected with them and to get them to learn, and experiential opportunities to grasp the concepts instead of just sitting there and clicking on things. So yeah, I think if you could find one that is relevant to your material, that would be encouraged.
And I will definitely encourage you guys to really and truly share the resources that you find that are really educational with your coworkers, because it's important for them to, get more information. If you find something that's really cool, that you feel is going to be, very engaging, then share it so that your fellow coworkers are, using the same platform too, because there is a lot of stuff out there, but we don't know about all of them. I know I posted some very relevant resources, but there's so many more that I have came across that I've looked at and I thought was really cool, that I haven't shared yet. So hopefully I'll get around to sharing some additional resources with you guys, and you can utilize them.
So Miss Sosa Cano says there are some teachers sharing links, but these are on private mode. Are you talking about the chat right now that you're trying to share links right there at this moment? Just need a little bit more information, unless you know what you're talking about, Kendra.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
About the netiquette, do we need to share it or only load on the homework section?
Yeah, you would only load it to, because once we go in there, we're gonna once the monitors go in, they're gonna look at it to make sure that you guys did it. So yeah, everything that you're creating in this module, really it will go into your classroom. You're only sending us what we asked you for, which was the Google Class code. I think one of them, you answered a question for us. But we're going to be going into your classroom to review what you have done. So you don't have to send us what you create, because the main plan is for us to go over and review how you have created your Google Classroom.
I just want to acknowledge Francisco's comment. I'm learning something new. That's great. We're excited. We know that you're taking this. It serves you all because you are going to be getting, hours for this training, but this is why we wanted to be engaged. We wanted to give back to our home country and help you all be successful and provide you with resources and tools that we are utilizing here in the States with our students. And so we're hoping to have continuous opportunities to continue to help provide training for you. So thank you so much for that. I think,
Alyssa Vasquez asked a question. She says, I want to know what kind of recognition or certificate we will get after this. It is very important that I have my hours accumulated with evidence. Alyssa, I don't know if you joined in later, but yes, we have monitors for each of the classrooms, each of the modules. And so those monitors will go over all of the lessons that you have done, all of the modules that you have done. And if they have questions, if you have something missing, they will reach out to you to let you know, for you to complete it. And we will definitely be giving you your hours once everything is completed. So I'm sure that you're gonna get it. As long as you did everything, it shouldn't be a problem. And if you missed anything, they will reach out to you to let you know.
Ms. Rosita said, do we need to redo our lesson? I think you already spoke to that. I don't.
I'm not clear if they need to redo this. No, I like I mentioned, as long as you have placed a lesson, whether it's a video lecture, teaching something, educating on something, or a PowerPoint, teaching something, educating on something, that is a lesson. And then after you give that lesson, you usually assign an assignment that's related to the lesson that you have given, right? And so if it's a worksheet, you give a worksheet. If it's a question where you want them to answer, you ask them a question. And then after you've done that, then you want to create a quiz. And I think I want you to create the quiz because I want you to get familiar with using Google Forms. Okay, so really and truly, if you've done that, that's the way that you were supposed to do it.
I see a question about, it said, was another question. You said we do not need to send it to you, but that's how the system will say we complete the work. Please clarify why this is so.
You need to send me the Google code for your class, and then I will go into your Google Classroom to look at it and to verify that you uploaded everything that needs to be in there. All right. So I know some of you have sent me the lesson, but honestly, my main goal for this module is to make sure you created a classroom where I can go into and look and make sure that you actually got how to upload content to teach your students from an online platform, right? Just like how we're teaching you through Google Classroom, now you have to actually apply the skills to your own classroom. So for your Google Classrooms, that we as facilitators had to create a lesson for you. That lesson came in the form of a video lecture or a PowerPoint or an article, right? And then you did the lesson, and then we gave you different activities to do that was related to that lesson. So maybe you might have had an activity where you had to answer a couple questions. Maybe you had an activity where you had to fill out a Google form. Some of you, for me earlier on, if you took the Thriving course, you had to do fill out a survey, or not a survey, but an assessment that really looked into how you were doing emotionally. Are you burnout? You know, remember you had to take that burnout, like, you know, assessment. So we are assigning something that's related to the lesson that we're teaching you. And then once you complete that assignment, then you could assign, well, you should assign a quiz to test the knowledge that's gained, right? So it's really simple. It's 3 things that you're doing. You're creating a lesson, whether it's PowerPoint or video lecture or whatever other digital platform, and you are assigning an assignment that's related to the lesson that you just taught, right? And then you are doing a quiz to test the knowledge gained from the lesson that you created. So it's as simple as that.
Look at that. Okay, I want to get back to Rosa Cano's question about teachers sharing links, but it's private mode. She's saying it's in the class. So is that a tech issue or?
It's private mode in the class. I'm not sure. Can you, maybe what you can do is if you can reach out to me, and then I could click on the link to see if I can see it. And then we could go from there, because I am still a little bit confused about the link being in private mode. I'm not sure what that means.
So right here, Mr. Aronson, I attached a link for students to open, but the link won't open because after I upload PowerPoint lesson plan on Google Classroom, it transformed it into Google Slides. Any suggestions?
Oh yeah, that would be Mr. Underwood. That would be module 2, how to make the students be able, they would have to download it, but not as a PDF file if it transformed into PDF file. Carla, you're mute.
Yeah, I was yelling at my daughter.
Oh, yeah. So yeah, unfortunate. I know it's probably within the settings. It has to do maybe within the settings on either the person downloading it on their computer or the settings how you're creating it. Because if you're creating a video that is private and not unlisted or made public, then they would not be able to see it. Like for me, I have a YouTube channel. If I go in and I create a private video and I've shared the link, a lot of people won't be able to see it because it's private. I would have to make it unlisted or public for them to be able to see it. But I would have to change the settings for that to happen. So it might have something to do with the settings, but I'm not exactly sure. So if you can reach out to us to figure out maybe how you are creating the video, that might help. Because if it is in private, then yeah, it might be a link that only you can open.
Good afternoon, everyone. We have people that are joining us. We are about 40 minutes into this. We have about 20 more minutes left of today's live session. I'm seeing a couple questions that I think that you've already highlighted in the beginning, Kendra, but maybe just to additionally clarify.
Yeah.
Someone's asking, do we need to create different Google Classrooms for the different lesson plans, or we need to use the same Google Classroom we had created before to put all the lesson plans? And I think you already talked about that.
Yeah. Again, you don't necessarily need to create several different classrooms. If you're in an institution or in a school where your administration would want you to have separate classrooms, then that's something that they would want. I have seen it both ways. I have seen where each teacher create a different Google Classroom for each subject. I have also seen where teachers kind of come, where there's teachers that teach different classrooms come together and they just, have their lesson plan in that one classroom where they have religion and all of the religion assignment. They have math in all of the math assignment. They have English, all of the English assignment listed under each of those subtitles. So it's up to you on your school what they want to do. Now you can either have Google Classrooms for each of your classes that you teach, or for the teachers that perhaps teach maybe the same students throughout the entire day, but different subjects, you can have one Google Classroom and just label each of the lessons that you teach and just make sure that the assignments go under each of those headings so that the students don't get confused. What I don't want you to do is just upload all of the lessons there and there's no separation between your classes, and then students are confused because they don't know what is what, which is which. So you want to make sure that it's very organized. If it's a math lesson, it's under the math section of your Google Classroom. If it's a religion lesson, it's under the religion section of your Google Classroom. If it's a science lesson, it's under the science topic area on your Google Classroom, and that you don't have math science, and then after that you have a social studies, and then after that you have religion, and there is no separation, because then the students are not going to get it. They're going to be very confused. And so it's important to understand that you want to make sure that you're organizing your Google Classroom. And the reason that I am asking you for your Google code is so that we can go into your classroom and look at it to make sure that you guys are not doing that, and that you're creating a lesson, you're creating an assignment that's related to that lesson, and you're creating a quiz or an assessment to test the knowledge related to the lesson that you just taught them. Okay?
I heard your Creole coming out of that response. How will I know if you have already received my class code?
We are going to let you know because we're going to be monitoring. I have received a ton of emails of class codes, so we are getting everything in. But like I mentioned earlier, the monitors will be going through each of your names one by one to make sure that you have what it is that we require, so we're able to give you your hours.
Yes, and just to reiterate, because I know some of you have joined, the moderators have just started moderating. It's over 3,000 teachers and a handful of moderators. So our goal is to get through everything by the end of June. So you will hear something from us, but just be patient, please. Another question is,
One real quick, Carla, if you did not complete an assignment, you will receive an email from the moderators to give you some time to complete it. So even though the class is about to end, guys, continue to monitor your email so you're able to keep in touch. If you get an email that says, hey, we can't find this assignment, or we're missing this, can you please send it in or upload it? So that you can get, credit for it, right? So don't just say, oh, it's over with, we're no longer gonna be on. You wanna make sure that you're monitoring your emails because you're still gonna be hearing from us if there's something missing. So continue to monitor that.
Mr. Dennis says, would you recommend Minicam to teach with? I've never heard of Minicam. Have you?
Minicam, yeah, I mean, I think if it's feasible, yeah, that's a form of digital, because it's like a camera. Is it a minicam? Is like a camera that's on your computer, isn't it?
Maybe further clarification. I don't know.
I think that's what a minicam is. Yeah, I'd say. If you could go live on it, or if you could create lesson plan on it, I mean, if it's a device that you can use, I don't see why not.
Miss Melanie is asking, do we need to create a video for the last activity on etiquette or only answer the questions given? So we talked about that earlier. We can, you can do it if you have the resources to be able to video, then fine. If not, you can do it over a PowerPoint presentation, or you can just answer in the document. More questions.
When should we get the email? Oh, I think Carla, you answered that. Will teachers continue having access to the resources after the workshop? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if you will, but I think you probably will until the end of June, just in case we need you to send in a different assignment. So yeah, you should have access to it. I don't know if at what point they'll cut off the access, if they will or if they won't. I do know that, it's up to the ministry to decide whether or not these will just be public forums or whether or not they're going to shut them off at some point, these classrooms. So.
Ms. Olita says, I'm now using my Google Class with my standard 4 students. I started yesterday using what you asked us to do. It's working great. Thank you. Awesome. We love to hear that success.
Great. Awesome.
That's what feed us. We need to hear things like that to know that it's working for you. So thank you so much for sharing that. So once again, we'll get you the feedback. We're working on it. When is the deadline for all of these assignments? That's a good question.
I know that you guys going to have through the end of next week, because we're going to give an extra week to complete it. I know that's what Jeannie had mentioned. So you'll have until the end of next week, I believe. And if it's going to be longer than that, then I think you're going to get some announcement about that. But please try to get everything in by the end of next week.
Ethel Clark says, this is the best workshop ever. I'm really learning a lot. Thanks. I wish
thank you guys.
My class. You could write that as on my evaluation. Thank you.
I know. Yeah, that would be great.
Another question, we have added teachers as students, so our lessons are there in creating the quiz. Will be they needed to do it, or just to post all content and quiz there just to show how we are doing?
I mean, it would be good to have one of them completed so you know that it actually worked, right? So you know that the quiz was actually, you were able to see the results and it worked fine. So it's always good to have somebody complete it so you can get that information.
Yeah, and Miss Sharon, she says that she believes there should be some continuity with the workshops. It will enable us as teachers to share experience from actual class sessions. I completely agree, and that's our, we have hopes and goals to continue to partner with you all to provide that. So yeah, just please express that to your leadership so we know that you all feel that.
Yeah, we'll definitely keep in touch. And we definitely want to continue this partnership for sure. I think that it's been great. We've enjoyed having you guys. And one of the things that I always thought is that I needed to be in Belize to do all of this, but actually, you know, we realize now we don't have to be in Belize. We could be online. So how great is that? So we can definitely continue our partnership. And Dr. Thornton and I, we were actually planning to do this in person, but then COVID happened. And then we're like, oh, we'll have to figure out another plan. And so they decided to do online. And so we're really happy that we had the opportunity to work with the Ministry of Education. I would really like for us to continue this partnership and, you know, continue to educate each other, because we have learned a lot too from you guys, and definitely going to implement some of the things that I've learned working with you. So thank you for having us. And I know for many people, there might have been some apprehension, or they're not in belief, they don't understand. We're really trying our best to see how we can help in the ways that we can. Okay.
Yeah, and just to piggyback off of that, you know, we understand though, like I prefer, I see the point of doing things distance learning, but we do the engagement, that face-to-face, that networking connection also. So, you know, I'm still going to Belize this summer to visit my family, but we'll, you know, as soon as things get safe, and Belize gets to a point where this COVID-19 kind of works itself out next year, the year after, we both have families still there. So we, you know, we will do some things in person too. So
yes, yes, for sure.
um, will teachers continue having access to the resources after the workshop? Did you answer that already?
Yeah, I believe that you will up until the end of June. So if you want to download all the helpful information and keep them in a folder for yourself so you could revert back to it, that's my advice, is create a teacher folder. And you, in that folder, you have all of your resources. If you need to download all of the videos on how to create this, because you know you guys learned a lot, and the thing about it is with our memory, like we're probably going to forget some of the stuff, and we're going to need to get that reference back, and if it is closed off, you're not going to be able to have access. So the best thing to do is to download the resources that you have and that you found most helpful, and keep them in a folder for yourself as reference that you can go back to.
Yeah, and I just want to hijack this training real quick and also say that for the financial management part and the other modules that you go through, there's some really helpful worksheets that you can utilize for the rest of your life, right? And also share with your family and friends, especially in the budgeting and the emergency fund part. So please, as and I always that's just a thing that I do when I'm doing online. I always download it because you never know with technology. So please download those forms and save them. Are lessons with basic hyperlink adequate, or can these be modified by adding the video on PowerPoint or video lecture? I think we spoke to that.
Huh. Yeah, I think, did we answer that?
Yeah, we answered that already. Hopefully you were here when we answered that, Patricia. If you want us to answer again, just post the question again.
Okay, we're coming down to about 7 minutes, guys. So I noticed that once I saved the lesson using slides, I wanted to edit it, and it didn't give me the option to do so. It just says that you can view. Yes, if you create something and you already upload it to Google, you won't be able to edit it in Google. So you might, unless you do Google Slides, you can edit it. But if you're like creating it in just in your computer, just regular your PowerPoint app, or your PowerPoint application, then you're not gonna, you can only upload it. But I suggest using Google Slide if you want to be able to go in there and update and make changes to the slides.
Do we use links in lesson plans? You talked about that.
Do we use what?
Links in lesson plans.
Do we use links? Huh.
You need more context?
Yeah, I don't, do you use link?
Sorry, if you can be a little bit more descriptive of what you mean.
I don't know what you link in the lesson plan.
So we have about 6 more minutes left. And
Links. Oh, do you mean links? Like if you want to have them do a lesson through a link? Yeah, you can add a link and have them click on, because once you add the link, then it'll show up in the assignment area. They can just click on it. It'll take them directly there to the lesson that you're trying to have them do. So yeah, you can definitely use the link.
If we are using Microsoft Teams, will we need to change to Google Classroom?
I don't know anything about Microsoft Teams, guys. So for my lesson and module 3 for Dr. Thornton and I, we would like to have the Google Classroom.
So we have about 5 minutes left. If you posted the question earlier and we still have not answered it, please go ahead and copy and paste it and ask the question again, because we don't want to miss anyone.
Yeah.
Isabel says, I'm ready to be an online teacher. Thank you for the great. So this is the thing though. I don't consider myself an online teacher, right? Because there's a whole methodology and there's like, so it's the teaching pedagogy that comes around that. I consider myself a remote instruction. I really like that, right? We're just trying to we're trying to duplicate the classroom environment temporarily through these remote platforms. But the goal is to get back to in person. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, well, you know, we're distance learning, remote learning, and that's what our institution is using. Because here's the thing: if you're live and you're teaching in the classroom, there's a difference between institution that just post stuff online and you have the leisure to do it whenever you want to do it. And that's not how this is designed at all. There is certain time that you have to get it done. You're creating live classrooms and things like that. So it's a little bit different. To me, the content that goes into planning an online is a lot more in some ways than it is to be in person, because in person, I can do a lecture just at lib. Really, I don't really need to have like a design PowerPoint and all that. Whereas if you're doing online, you have to have a lot of details because you want to create clarity and understanding. And so, yeah, to me, it's a lot harder to do remote, but I enjoy doing it though. I like doing both.
To be honest, I like to be able to go to class with my pajama bottoms on. So that's what I have. I have a nice shirt on and sweatpants on right now. I have my quiz in my Google Classroom, but have difficulty submitting it in the turn-in section. Is it okay to leave it like that since you guys will be checking the Google Classroom?
Yeah, as long as it's uploaded, we should be able to get it. I'm not sure why you wouldn't be able. The quiz should be in the Google form, so you should be able to submit it. Once it's submitted, it's turned in, I believe. If you're going through Google Classroom, you could just put marked as done, I believe. You'll probably hit mark as done. And we should get something that says you completed the quiz.
Okay. How do we upload the Google Classroom code for you to see it?
You will just upload it to, I think it's a section where if you go in, you're able to put a comment in there and I'll see that. I'll see it because that's how I've been getting it. Like if you go into where it says Google Classroom assignment, and then there's an open space and you just upload the code there.
So I know we have 1 minute left. Rosetta asked, how do you do your tropical background? I want to learn that. So I utilize Zoom. And so in Zoom, you can change your virtual background. So I have all types.
You want me to walk them through it, Carla? If I share my screen, will they be able to see it?
I think I can share my, oh yeah, if you give it to me.
Can you share?
Yeah. Well, no, it says disabled. You have to give me the capability to do it.
Oh gosh, I don't know how to do that.
You can make me a co-host. Click on it and click on my picture, the 3 dots. And make
okay, let me click on your picture.
You see the 3 dots? And make me a co-host.
Oh, wait, let me see. Huh. Oh yeah, make host. Okay.
Co-host. Yeah.
All right, I did.
All right.
Go
So,
ahead.
so for those who are interested in learning how to change your virtual background, hold on. Okay. So I'm sharing my screen.
It's really cool.
Hold on. Uh-oh. It looks weird though now. I can't.
Oh, you have to, yeah, because you have so many open screens.
Oh my gosh. Look at you. Y'all all up in my business on my desktop. Hold on. I don't know how to do it with. Okay, so let me. I don't know how to share.
Okay, if you're in Zoom, you see where there is the stop. Oh, there you go, Carla.
Yeah, but look at we have our own issues too.
Oh,
Okay,
wait.
so I'll have to hand walk you through it. I'm so sorry, you all. So at the very
Let me see if I can do it then. Maybe I can.
okay,
Okay, share screen. Oh, disable host disabled partner screening. Okay, yeah. All right. So, oh wait, now it won't let me share.
yeah, it does the same thing. So I'll just hand walk you. So through Zoom,
I don't know.
at the very bottom where you have your mute microphone and your camera, there's an arrow that you can point up. And when you point
It's
that,
not the. It's not. Is it the cam? It's the camera one, right? It's the one that says camera.
yeah, it says stop video and it says camera. So there's a little arrow that points up, and you can choose your virtual background. So I have different backgrounds. So I have like bookcases. I use this for the videos that I made. I'm a big fan of Disneyland, right? I have my campus. But what you have to do is you have to
Upload.
yeah, you have to go on the computer and find Zoom images. If you just Google virtual Zoom images, you download that onto your desktop, and then you upload it into Zoom. And then you see mine is moving. So I have a virtual background that you can also Google virtual live Zoom images. And then you'll see all types of ones, aquariums, of fish floating around. I like the ocean. I think I'm imagining I'm in Kikaka right now, relaxing on the beach.
I
So
know.
so that's how you do it.
I'm sad. I'm not gonna get to go.
I'll be there for
I'm
them.
jealous.
So I know we're a little over. We want to be considered your time. Do you want to have any closing thoughts before we sign off, Kendra?
No, just thank you guys so much for being so welcoming. I truly appreciate it. And I hope to meet some of you guys in person. Please, if you have social media, you can definitely follow me at Dr.Kendra Flores-Carter on Instagram. I also have my nonprofit, the Janet Don't Cry Foundation, and specifically created that nonprofit to give back to Belize. Last year we donated $1,000 in scholarship to Children First and Last Belize. I believe that it was donated to the Rosado Foundation. So we've been working in partnership with different nonprofits in Belize, trying to really and truly give back to the community. I'm working with my mother to really and truly work on creating some sort of business in Belize so that we're able to generate income and give back to the community. I don't need the income. Dr. Thornton don't need the income. We really and truly just want to give back to Belize because it's a part of our home. For me, it's a part of my heart because it's where I grew up. And I was in Belize until I was 14. So Belize is definitely rooted in me. I have it in my soul. And so it's, follow me and my organization, the Janet Don't Cry Foundation. And I hope to do many more activities and many more events in Belize in the future for sure. And I hope that I get to see you guys and interact with you guys and really get to know you on, on so many different levels and work together for the betterment of our community and our children's education, because really and truly that is the most important thing, is creating a future for our students that really and truly takes them out of poverty and help them to be able to be independent and live life to their very full potential. And so that's really and truly why I'm so passionate about partnership and working in Belize. Your turn, Carla.
Okay, and then for me, I just am just so grateful. I have to tell you, God is so good because He put me in a position where I'm working alongside Dr. Flores-Carter, and I'm telling you, she's trying to do all she can to organize support and resources for Belize. And so, you know, to be to work for California Baptist University, where I want to let you all know, not only is she Belizean, my parents are Belizean. They just moved back to Belize right before the holidays. So I'm going to be going down at least once every year. But the director of our program, his wife is Belizean. And so one thing that we've done is we're going to start having student immersion trips to Belize because Dr. Flores-Carter is really coordinating that. And so there's another opportunity to partner with CBU and our social work graduate students. So keep out for that. I'm also on social media. You can follow me on Instagram as Councilwoman Thornton. You can also find me on Facebook if you just type in Carla Thornton and Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. And that's the way we can stay connected. And I'm looking forward to, I'm loving to hear, I'm reading all of your comments about how successful you felt this program was challenging. And that means, right, only through those tough experiences are we able to learn. And so I feel completely confident that you are the skills and the perspectives that you've been presented with, you can implement in class, and that we provide continuous opportunities to talk this through and work out the kinks of what you felt worked and what didn't, right? The success and challenges. So I think that's it. If anyone has any other questions, who should they go to?
Well, they can definitely email Jeannie Garbett. You know, Jeannie is the person in charge of really coordinating all of the facilitators, and they can send questions to her and she'll definitely direct it to either facilitators, one of us, so we're able to help and answer them. Want to give a big shout out to Dr. Carol Babb. She's amazing. I really enjoyed the time that I spent with her, and just I'm so grateful that she is the person who really and truly kind of rolled out this opportunity. And I know I met with her last year and I talked to her about how interested I was in partnering, and she made it happen. So Dr. Bob, I just want to say thank you so much. And I look forward to us working together. I look forward to us potentially developing some sort of MOU with California Baptist University. And just a plug for CBU, if you guys are considering international studies, please note that California Baptist University is a very innovative place to be. They're constantly growing in academia, and they're really, really going with the times as far as technology is concerned. So I would definitely encourage, if you got a scholarship or you want to do, you know, distance learning in the US, to look into the university, because it's definitely a great place to study at. So thank you. And we will see you guys again soon. Bye.
Take care. Bye.
Bye. Okay.